the supermarket. And also like, it's not a big deal, our mom's really lame and she always loses her keys, you know? So I think...
Wait, what else do they say?
Oh, so many things like that. Well, I embarrass them constantly.
How?
No. Well, no more kissing them in public, which I've learned. I'm moving on from that.
That's a hard break. My 9-year-old still lets me kiss him on the lips in public.
The 9-year-old is picking up more from the 18-year-olds in our culture than the 12-year-old in the house. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, they definitely, it was a conversation. I've never released pictures of my kids. There are pictures of them when they're littler. This is the only time that you actually kind of see them. They're wearing little superhero masks.
They're covered a little bit, right?
Right, but my ex and I, we had a conversation and we included them in the conversation, and they were mostly excited that they got to wear cooler clothes than I buy them, because I shop at Target and the stylist shops at nicer places than Target. So that was really the excitement, that they got to wear a non-Target. Actually, my little one only wears Target t-shirts, so that is it. So they were a combination of kind of embarrassed and excited. Interestingly, my older son has not really wanted to read the book, which I think he's probably nervous. And
do you want him to?
I've decided, and I'm sure, you know, probably everyone here can relate, you know, our children provide us with so much material if we're writers and if we're bloggers, but there's still a sense of wanting to respect their privacy and their lives. So I really do run things by them, and especially, you know, my website, Grog Nation, I feature a lot of intimate things about them, but I run things by them to make sure that, you know, if someone were to come up to them in the park, they wouldn't be like, your mother said you still hold a baby doll at night, which may or may not be true of either of my children. I'm not telling.
Was there one chapter in particular that, you know, was like, it really sung to your heart, or a chapter that was really challenging for you to talk about or write about or have an opinion about?
I think it should be comforting to moms of sons who maybe also have daughters that the chapter that was hardest to write for growing up was the hardest for boying up. And that's the one on love, you know, like love, dating, online dating,
social media,
sex, social media, all that's, yeah, the social media complexity, which also very different for girls and boys. A lot of similar challenges, but that was a hard chapter. Also, it was hard because, you know, as a woman who's so protective of my body and my space and being able to do what I want, it was really interesting to kind of view it from the other side. You know, what does it mean when, statistically speaking, you know, girls are sending pictures to boys, right? So how do you then communicate that information about what it means not only to, you know, why you shouldn't ask people to send sexy pictures of themselves, but also what it does to you and to them when you engage in that culture. So that was a different conversation with boys than it is with girls.
What did you find, and what do you share about that? Because I think if we all can leave here today with some sort of thought on how to talk to our children about that.
I mean, I think it's hard. I'm not a therapist, you know, I don't...
You are a neuroscientist, so I trust you more than myself.
No, but I'm figuring it out as I go, and I really think that's what this book is. It's me trying to figure it out as I go, because you also, like, there's this risk that many moms, and women like me in particular have, you know, I like to talk a lot, in case you couldn't tell, and I often will find myself wanting to overtalk with my boys, whether it's about, you know, something in the news or consent or like what Trump said, you know, like I really want...
Because they ask questions?
No, it's because I want to talk, and I think everyone wants to talk like I do, but I think in particular with boys, it's sometimes too much information for them or just too much talk. So I've really learned to be selective with how I speak to them, and I get to the point right away. You know, whereas with my girlfriends, you do like a lead-in, like, did you see what, you know, with them I need to be really direct. Like, all right, here's what happened. This word is pussy, and it's in the news, and you need to, I didn't say it, the president did. And so, but the conversation was, this is a word I haven't taught you, but you're gonna hear it because it's in the news. And this is a term that's...
My mother is here.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know that word.
She needs to know too. So there's a whole section about how we talk about women and what it means. And what about the words that are used to describe women's genitals?
Say a pussy is not the right word, you should say vagina?
what I said is that there are a lot of euphemisms for different parts of the female body, and some men think it's okay to use them. You generally might want to check with the woman that you're using the word about and see if she likes it. And if you wouldn't say it in front of your grandmother or your sister, you probably don't need to say it to your friends. What? That is perfect.